Welcome to another episode of Front Row Material. My name is Mike Freland. I am so excited to be here with you guys tonight. We got a great episode lined up for you, but want to let everybody know Front Row Material is brought to you by the MLW Radio Network. You can catch all of our podcasts each and every week anywhere you find podcasts available. You can go ahead and follow us on Twitter as well at FRM Podcast. You can follow me. I'm at Mike, MikeFreland. I am flying solo today. The Ritster is not able to join me right now, but you know what? The hits keep on running. We're going to have a great interview with a tag team tonight, SAT, the Spanish announce team. So many things to get in with these guys. So you know what? Without any further ado, let's go ahead and bring them in right now.
What's up, brother? How are you?
I am good. Gentlemen, how are you guys this evening?
We're good, man. And what's going on? How are you, brother?
Hey, what's up? What's up?
I
Hey,
tell you
Mike,
what,
thank you for having us.
absolutely, it is my pleasure. So many things I want to talk about with you guys. But once again, just to kind of let our audience know, the Spanish announce team has been around for quite a while. Great tag team. You probably have seen them in the NWA, TNA, Ring of Honor. They've done so many different things in the world of pro wrestling. They're now joining us to talk about not only their career, but the personal side of themselves as well. So, gentlemen, usually before we get into anything too deep, what's going on with you guys just on a personal level? How's life been treating you?
Everything's good so far, man. Everything's coming to place. We're starting to get into the flow of things. Everything's going according to plan. You know, you plan things out, and most of the time, it really doesn't pan out. But as far as wrestling, wrestling's crazy up and down. But everything's panning out so far, so good. Life is great. Family's great. Kids are good.
Thank God.
Most importantly,
Especially coming out of the whole pandemic situation. I mean, it had its effect, not only on the world of pro wrestling, but it had a big psychological effect on people as well, too. And I think that may even been even more detrimental than anything. And people need consistency. And when wrestling goes away, I mean, that's a big thing that people miss. So people are definitely happy that, shows are going on again. People can get out there and interact with the talent. So it's pretty exciting to know it's back.
Yeah, and wrestling has changed big time since we've been around. It's more embraced now. Like guys like us. That hey, what up, Will?
What's up, guys?
That's the younger brother. That's the younger brother,
Nice.
Mike.
What's going on, Mike?
So we digging it, Mike.
I think
Pro
Joel's
wrestling
frozen.
is at best right now.
So let me kind of start here. The whole genesis. Is the audio coming through?
Everybody good?
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
So let's kind of start with the genesis of how the whole wrestling thing came to be. It's interesting to find out, what got people into wrestling, what motivated them to want to get into wrestling. So whoever wants to start, just kind of jump in there and say, this is what kind of drove me to want to get into wrestling itself.
Go ahead, Jose.
Sure.
When period overall or just
overall,
What was how did we get into wrestling?
we fell in love with wrestling when we were kids, like everyone else. Professional wrestling was like superheroes, real life superheroes. I mean, that's the closest thing to superheroes to me. I mean, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, Bigger Than Life. You know what I mean? You had the Heart Foundation, but we were really intrigued, even at a young age, to tag teams, to the Rockers, to
Steiners.
The Steiners were crazy to us. It was
LOD,
Legion of Doom, Demolition, so on and so forth. So we used to love the tag wrestling because we were brothers. I guess it connected with us more because it's always like, oh man, we can probably tag, we can probably do this and do that. So it was easier to connect to tag teams from the beginning than to singles guys. I mean, we all had our individual singles guys that it was funny because whoever I liked, they weren't allowed to like. So if my guy was Razor Ramon, which he was, rest in peace, Joel Wilson couldn't pick Razor Ramon. That's my guy.
No.
Yeah. We all had dibs on
Joel is Shawn Michaels, Joel
Shawn
Maximum
Michaels.
guy, Shawn Michaels.
Triple H.
I was
I'm a
assigned.
big-
You younger brother, I was assigned to Mankind. I love Mankind, but I didn't get to pick. They took all the top dogs, and then when Mankind was Mankind in the boiler room,
Yes.
ripping his hair out. That was my guy.
So it sounds like in the family here, it was like a wrestling draft. Once someone's taken, they're off the board.
That's
You need
it.
to
You
go
Yeah.
ahead.
can't.
You need to
You
go pick
Exactly
can't.
what it
somebody
was.
else.
You cannot
Yeah,
like
like
him.
wrestling league, right?
Yeah, it's real. It's a real thing. We created it. We didn't even realize. So it's like now you can't like them. Or even in video games. So we had all the video games, and then leading up to like the Japanese video games, we'll have like Fire Pro Wrestling and all these video games they used to come out had every character. So you weren't allowed to pick certain characters or use certain guys because that's my guy. You can't use Shawn Michaels. You can't use Kobashi. That's my guy. Like, you know what I mean? So it was off limits all the way around the board. It sucked because if Joel had, for example, Joel was a big mark of Chono. So Joel used to love Masahiro Chono. So that was his guy in Japan. So we were like, I used to like Chono too, but I couldn't like him or pick him in the game because that's Joel's guy. So I had to pick somebody else. It's bad. And we took it serious.
So
I feel
that's how we grew up liking wrestling.
I was going to say, I feel like an ass whipping's going to come your way if you try to claim dibs on somebody who's already in someone else's stable.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Wow. Wow.
It was bad.
So
yeah, we loved it.
So you guys decide, we love wrestling, and that seems to be something that normally really starts from early on, and people just they either grow out of it. You often hear people say, "Well, I got out of it, whatever. I started chasing girls, this and that, and then I came back to it later on in life." And some people just say, "No, it was a staple in my life, much like breakfast, lunch, and dinner."
It was like that with us, and what's crazy is that we were destined to do this. You know why? Because when we moved from Puerto Rico to the United States, we ended up living in Brooklyn. And upstairs on the third floor, the super of the building, his son, his name is Chris Devine, in wrestling. He's the one that got us. Yeah, he's the one. He was a bigger fanatic than us because he had all the video games. He used to take us to ECW shows when we were like teenagers, and he opened our minds up to like this could be real, this could be you. So us with our ideas, we started wrestling in the basement, of course, with my mom's old mattress. We have the little boombox with the music, the whole thing. We did the whole thing.
Yeah, it's a real deal.
It started from there. We went to we were at the mall, and they were giving out flyers for a company named HWA, which was run by Paul Loria and Mikey Woodbrag. And Chris Devine, his name is Eddie.
Well, before that, we were already training at the abandoned church in Brooklyn.
Oh yeah. So rewind to that. Rewind to that. So we ended up training in some abandoned church in Brooklyn, and it was called Arena Puerto Rico, and that's where we met Homicide, Low Key, Low Life Louie, a whole bunch of the Doghouse guys used to go there to use the ring.
John that became
Quiet Storm, yeah. And then after that, fast forward to when Eddie got the flyers from HWA, we went out to the HWA show, and we saw who was there. It was an ECW superstar, and we were wild, like holy. Besides Mikey, it was when ECW was still going. I think it was the FBI.
Danny Gorman.
Yeah, I think so too.
Anyways, there was a whole bunch of ECW guys, right? And we fell in love with the company with HWA. So we were training here and there in an abandoned church, but we never actually got training. So we begged Mikey Woodbrag to train us. And he didn't take us serious. So he told us that they were going to be at an ECW show in Danbury, Connecticut. Remember that, Cal? And then he said, meet me there, and we'll talk about it then. We waited till like the show was over. They were doing ring crew. He comes out like at 1:30 in the morning. We follow him to his car. He's like, are you guys following me? Who the hell are you? And we're like, shit, man. And he was like, we reminded him who we were. And he was like, you know what? Meet me Thursday at the HWA building. And he just left. So we didn't know what was happening. So we ended up going to the HWA building that Thursday. And Mikey showed up, and we had a talk. And then he told us that the amount of money that it would take for us to get into the House of Hardcore. The House of Hardcore was still open by then. And my boy Chris Devine was like, I gotcha, you know, I want you guys to do that. He did his thing, and he paid for me, Jose, Amazing Red, Quiet Storm himself, for the school. And
Wow.
yeah, he did that for us, and
He's
we
amazing.
went in there. There was like 12 guys in there. The only 5 was about 6 guys left from 12 guys that didn't drop out. It was Jose, me, Chris Devine, Quiet Storm, Brian Excel, and Amazing Red. And Shane and Wayne. Yeah, we were the last guys from the House of Hardcore, the only guys that didn't give up, and it went from there. We used to sneak into school and try moves that we used to see in the video games or in Japan wrestling. And we started making up moves. Like we made up Spanish Fly, Canadian Destroyers, you name it. We started making things up. That's where everything happened over there.
I had a feeling that there was a group of people around Amazing Red and where the Canadian Destroyer actually was born.
Yeah.
That is such an incredible move.
We got the story. We got the story.
give it to us, because everyone thinks, God rest him, and not God rest him, but God bless him, P.D. Williams. I think when he did it as well, I think people were like, whoa, what's going on here? But you know what? Not necessarily the case. We love you, P.D.
He knows.
But
He knows
what
his
exactly?
He
What
knows.
exactly? Tell me the story. Tell me how this crazy, awesome move.
My brother did it by mistake on Chris Devine. It was completely by mistake in a match. It was a botch. You know, usually we doing 100 moves a match. We usually botch like 90 of them. so going with that, you know, my brother kind of did that. So fast forward, we got a tryout from TNA. They called us down, and they didn't know who the hell we were, so they didn't want to fly us down. So we took a bus from New York City to Tennessee. We ended up stopping in Georgia, where we met up with the Briscoes and some guys from NWA. What was it called?
Wildside.
Sorry, NWA Wildside, right? And there was a pool in the ground, and Jose was telling Red to do it on Quiet Storm into the pool, and then that's why it came alive. Quiet Storm was like, I want to use it, and we're like, use it. He
used it in pay-per-view.
Yeah,
He used it in TNA.
Yeah, he used it in
Against
TNA.
us.
Yeah,
That's on video.
That's
I
what
don't understand. I don't understand how people get confused. If on pay-per-view in TNA, and then P.D. Williams with the Canadians came just a little while later, which technically was Quiet Storm's Canadian Destroyer, because Quiet Storm and Chris Devine were coming out and
from
saying
Canada,
they were from Calvary or Breda, Canada. The Canadians, like, he made it up. Like, we made it up. Like, even Code Red. I don't understand. Just call it Code Red. At least Spanish Fly, they use it and they call it Spanish Fly.
Right.
You know what I mean? At least
single Spanish Fly, double Spanish Fly.
It's not a single Spanish Fly, double Spanish. It's just Spanish Fly. It's a double team move called Spanish Fly. Like I gave an example to these kids last week. We were at Big Time Pro Wrestling, right? Was it Big Time?
Yeah.
And we did Spanish Fly. He was like, "Oh, you guys did the double Spanish Fly. I like the way you did it." So I laughed. I was like, "All right, yeah." He was like, "What was wrong?" I was like, "Well, it's just Spanish Fly." He was, "But it's 2 guys." I'm like, "All right."
We made it up.
We made it up. So we call it what we want. And he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I know you guys made it up, but isn't it like a double Spanish Fly since it's 2 of you guys?" I was like, "Okay, so now you really don't know, right? It's okay. I get it. Not everyone's going to know who you are." I'm like, "All right. Does Devon Dudley and Bubba Ray call it a single 3D or it's just 3D?" He was like, "Oh, if 2 guys did it, it's just 3D. It doesn't matter. It's just 3D, right? Spanish Fly is the same way. It's just Spanish Fly. I don't care if 1 guy, 2 guys, 3 guys. Spanish Fly." He was like, "Oh, I get it. It's just the name. Keep the name. Don't ruin it. Don't botch it." At least we kept that for long.
So we did an indie show going back to the Canadian Destroyer. And it was Cyberspace Pro Wrestling. It was in New Jersey, somewhere in New Jersey. And P.D. Williams was there.
He was there.
Quiet Storm was there, and we were there. And P.D. Williams and Quiet Storm, they kept looking at each other. He was at the bleachers, and then he went and he told somebody, "Yo, is Quiet Storm mad at me? Is he mad that I'm doing the move?" And then he went and he offered Quiet Storm. How much was it?
I don't remember.
It was like $25, $50 for the move.
Yeah.
So he Quiet Storm, he wasn't making any money, and then he took it. So he actually sold it to P.D. Williams for $50.
Wow.
Man, if
Probably.
if I would have known we could sell moves, we would have made a fortune of a Spanish fly, bro. I would have been like $25 a pop. Everybody do it. Come on.
So
Rich.
it's 25 a night to do it, right? So they're leasing the move, right?
They're
Yeah, you're
leasing
leasing
it.
the
They're
move.
leasing it. Yeah. This
No,
Put that
is
in a binding contract. I think Mike is gonna make some contracts for SAT on behalf of SAT. Here you guys go.
oh my
That'd be
god.
crazy.
That really happened. That's the real true about that move. And you know the Tower of Doom.
Yes.
We made it up at the Ring of Honor show.
Beach
That was
breaker.
all
You made-
created by me. Yeah.
Beach breaker. You made it up.
I made it up. That's
Yeah,
real.
the
You ever
power
seen
bomb to the knees.
You made it up.
I made it up. I did it. I got videos from 2002,
I-
2003,
we still got
Japan,
messages
2000, even 2008. They weren't even doing
when
it yet.
Teddy Hart started asking you that he wanted to do it.
He wanted to do it. I said, do it. Just call it the SAT bomb or whatever you want to say. Just put my name in there. That's all. Put a stamp.
Yeah, so
Come on.
that's
I mean,
that
We're
goes
on
probably
the
back-
bone. It's gimmick infringement. Come on.
It is. It's terrible.
Nobody likes to mention that though, man. It's all
But not
good,
only
though.
the moves, Mike. If you look at the style, the spotty style that my brothers, before I even joined the SAT, I was too young. You know, these stories they're telling you, I was probably like 12 years old. Most of these stories they're telling you. But the style, the spotty style, when they call the SAT spot monkeys. Oh, yeah. Spot monkeys. All they do is spot. That's pretty much the style of like today. That's what everybody's enjoying now. And it's cool. I love it. I love that the style is like that. And it's more competitive for us now. You know, more spots for us to do.
Well, you work up I'll work up the paperwork and I'll send some stuff to the Young Bucks. I'll send some stuff to a lot of people.
Yeah,
and,
You know what's funny about the Bucks?
I love the Young Bucks.
The Bucks always did their own thing. I don't
Yeah,
think
I kinda like it.
I don't think I could sit here and be like, oh, the Bucks really took
I don't
anything
care.
from me.
They try
Yeah.
to do their own shit all the time. I can
Yeah.
respect. I love that. I can respect that. I can appreciate that. Like, all right, they're creative in their own right. That's what it is.
It
is
just,
what
you know, it is what it is. They just can't see us in the ring.
They ain't steal anything from
You're
us.
calling out the Bucks, right?
Bro, I'm not calling nobody out. I'm not calling nobody out.
They didn't
a couple-
steal anything.
You know,
From us.
from December.
I mean, like really, right? So they didn't steal anything from us.
Yeah.
But they
I
stole
mean,
it from him.
They stole
The
NWO shit.
Yeah.
yeah.
But-
What do
but
they
yo.
call them now? The Bullet Club?
Yeah.
Really? Really? Nah.
Come on.
You know,
this is a real shoot, my friends.
Nah,
Yeah, this is not- this is not-
we humble like a cherry pie.
It's so interesting to know the genesis of people in their wrestling careers. And, you know, you talked about coming from Puerto Rico to Brooklyn and then, you know, meeting Mikey and training and whatnot. Let me ask you this question. So just to kind of take a couple of steps backwards, in Puerto Rico, Carlos Colon, Josefa, they did a lot of things. Wrestling in Puerto Rico is a big deal. And it's been a big deal for many, many years. Did you guys ever feel like that there was an opportunity to work long-term, or did you often say to yourself, you know what, if we're going to continue to do this, it's going to be in the United States?
Yeah, it's crazy because when we first went to Puerto Rico, it was through Ralph Einstein and Doug Dentry. It was through
Yes.
Ring of Honor. And we went to IWA Puerto Rico when IWA was like almost dying out. And that's where we made connections with Taka Michinoku. And we talked about that. It was like it was me, Jose, and Red. Again, Will was too young. And we talked about
Chris
it.
Divine,
And Brian
Brian
Excel.
Storm, and Brian Excel. We were all out there.
Yeah, we were out there for a bit. We were out there for a minute. And we thought about it, and it really wasn't for us, even though it's our island. We actually grew up there. It's beautiful. We love it. But the ECW, Japan, that, you know, TNA, the beginning days, that's what really called to us. More of that fast style than in Puerto Rico. Because when we were there, they were going crazy. They were like, stop that, stop, you know, and we were like, bling, 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 like pinballs. That's the style that we wanted to do. And we wasn't, you know, letting anybody tell us when not. We were just doing what we wanted to do. What we felt was entertaining at the time for fans, you know.
The fans?
Fast forward, I ended up going to WWC with Will when Jose stepped out, and they put the belts on us twice, the tag team titles over there in Carlos Colon's company.
WWC
Yeah.
against Nietzsche and Lynx.
Yeah.
which is that's their tag team that is similar to our style. They're high flyers. They're spotty as hell, and they're really entertaining. And for some reason, they said to slow it down.
Yeah.
Oh, too
So
much.
that style over there is amazing
What?
if that's what calls for you. You know, I could see FTR making hell of freaking killing over there. Besides the fact that they're like grounded, they'll change the game in that way. You know, you see how they wrestle. They don't have to do
Absolutely.
spotty. They don't have to do spotty stuff so the match could look awesome. Even though me, Dax, and Jose had been going to worse lately on Twitter, and that's another team that knows the deal. Well, anyways, those guys could
They
make a living in Puerto
definitely
Rico.
got the best of SAT Volume 1, 2, and 3.
It's all fun.
Come on, baby. You know that Uncle Dax, if you're listening, you know you got the Volume 1, 2, and 3, bro. Come on, it's all good. Listen, when you come out with the best of Dax and or FTR or just the Revolution,
We're gonna buy it.
I'm gonna buy them. I'm gonna keep them on
buy 'em
shelf.
I am a fan of FTR.
Nah, they're good. They're freaking fantastic. They're good. They're one of my
They're
favorite
good,
tag teams to
but
watch.
they're not Maximo good. But
Nobody's Maximo good. Just cheap imitations. Come on, what are we talking about here? Nah.
So,
stop.
gosh, you guys are a trip. This is, I don't know if I've laughed this hard in a wrestling interview. It's so, okay. So you're in the broken down church. All right. So you're with Mikey. What is, honest to goodness, your honest opinion of what he was like? Because it seems like, and I know Mikey, so I can bust his balls. Did he seem kind of like antisocial when it was like when you met him out in the car, like, what are you doing following me? But then
no.
did he seem, how did he come across that very first time?
Scared.
Which Puerto Ricans chasing him?
Whoa! Right?
Red
had a do-rag on. Yo, Mike, Red had a do-rag on. My brother's wearing a cap and a hoodie. We wearing big coats. We from Bushwick, Brooklyn at the time, you know. He's like, what the hell?
Yeah,
he probably thought he was gonna get
had a
mugged.
few what the hell moments. But Mikey was a big shell, but he's a softie.
Mikey's the toughest
sweetheart.
trainer. He's the toughest trainer in the
He's a
world.
loving, caring human being. Mikey Whipwreck is the man. I love Mikey Whipwreck. I'm forever grateful to everything he did for us. He did for us, because he's the man, no matter what.
All the times he made you throw up.
We slept over his house a few times in Long Island when he was in Long Island at the time before shows. I mean, he did make us sleep on the floors and couches in the hotel rooms and leave the freaking windows open all night long in the winter.
Yep.
He's a polar bear, bro.
Yes,
he's a freaking polar bear. You know, Mike, he's crazy. I'm like, you're putting the AC on. It's 13 degrees outside. We're all the way up in state New York somewhere, or Boston. I'm like, it's freezing down here. We're Puerto Rican. We got frail bones. You know, we're island people.
That's why Jerry Lynn would not room with him after a while. He's like, geez, oh, Pete, come on, close the window.
Yeah.
It's sick. Wow. You see, he does that.
Yeah.
He did it to Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn is now that's a gentleman, man.
He's sick.
He's sick. Oh, Mikey, yeah.
In a good way. I love him. I think we bought Mikey his first PlayStation, right? Or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, you know, he games a lot. He he plays this thing called PUBG all the time on Twitch.
Yeah.
So he's got into gaming big time. So, but no, he is genuinely one of the nicest human beings I got to know. I mean, he'll bust your balls like when we first got to know each other.
Whoo, he's the godfather of the Northeast. Like every star from out here is his. From the SAT to Matt Cardona, Kurt Hawkins, you name them, Mikey trained them. Silver and
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Would you agree it's a travesty that he's not with a major promotion, being a coach or whatever they refer to him?
It's disgusting.
Yeah,
it's disgusting. Look what he produced. Look what he produced. Like, all right. You know, they're doing a whole bunch of Hall of Fames everywhere, and it's good. It's all, look what he produced, bro. Like his guys, the guys he trained changed the whole game. I don't care what they say. Like, I'm not just using it. I'm not just trying to, I don't care. We're the most humble people in the world. It's awesome to see. I love inspiring people. We're the most copied tag team in the planet, I believe, right now. This is facts. I'll see our shit on TV every single day, every promotion, every independent show. We were at a Hall of Fame at the GCW show. Fantastic. We weren't in it. I don't give a shit about that. That doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't move rocks. The next day we were at the show because we were there to record a skit with the Briscoe brothers. They did 9 Spanish flies in a single show. Like, this is what I'm saying. The influence but this is all because of Mikey. I feel like Matt Cardona came out and he's doing big things. This is the influence. Mikey trained not just in the ring, mentally how to approach things a different way in the ring, how to be different, always be. He's the man. I don't understand how he's not in every Hall of Fame in WWE, ECW. He should be on everything, bro. He should be.
But I agree with Mike. I think Mikey Ali should be a coach. He should. Yeah. Look at the list of guys you're talking about. Trent Beretta, Alex Reynolds, and John Silver.
Tony Nese.
Every single one of us, all 13 SAT members. I'm talking about all of us. This guy and everybody who I mentioned could work. They could wrestle. They're great. They have changed the game in some way, somehow. And it's all because of Mikey Woodbrand. Yeah.
Mikey had said numerous occasions on conversations that ECW was one of those places where they changed a lot because they brought in a lot of different cultures with wrestling, and they made the show appealing to so many different sectors of the audience. And it had that authentic feel. It wasn't this overproduced thing where it was very believable. All of the wrestlers were believable people that you could attach yourself to. And he always told me, he said, that's what it's about. He said, it's about being authentic and unique and having that connection to the audience, and everything you do has to mean something. And it's one of those things where I'll never be you guys. I don't have an athletic bone in my body. In fact, I with my BMI, I don't know if I have a bone to begin with. But at the end of the day, I'm Earthquake's illegitimate kid. Let's just be honest with you. My hairline's leaving. But yeah, it's just so cool to see people like that. And when I talk to him now, I just wish the best for him because he deserves so much more.
That's
and I
awesome.
agree.
Absolutely. I agree. It's crazy, man. I mean, I don't understand it either. Like, I mean, we talk about it all the time. We're like, well, why is it? Even when ECW first did the change, when Paul Heyman went right over to WWE, and how do you not call Mikey and be a coach? You don't want to use him on TV. You don't want to use whatever. He's too short, whatever it is, too small at the time. Okay, this guy's brain, his mind for the game is out of this world. To this day, it's still crazy. Like, he just tells the story in every single one of his matches. He's one of the best in the world. I say it all the time. He's the GOAT in his own way, because there's no touching him. There's no way. Yeah. There's no way you produce this much talent out of one guy. It's crazy.
That is true, man. It's not like we're just saying it. You see it out there. You see his students. His students are the top of the game right now. And I mean, like Matt Cardona, one of them right now.
It was funny. It was at a GCW event. I remember we talked to Matt, Mikey and I and Jerry. We had an interview with Matt. This was a while back. And he said, I wanted to wear my Mikey-inspired gear in WWE. And I think he said he was going to wear when he won the Intercontinental title. There was one of those things. And I guess it just didn't come together. But he ended up wearing it when he was recently at the GCW. I want to say it was in Hammerstein.
Yeah, we were there. We were there.
Oh, man. And I tell you what, man.
I noticed. I was like, holy shit. It looks like Mikey's tights, the knee pads, the white tights, the blue knee pads at the shins. I was like, holy shit, he has the dragon and the tights.
Yeah, man.
And the Cactus Jack vest.
Yes.
You threw it in there. Fantastic.
Yeah, man.
He's also a storyteller, and he's a beautiful storyteller. The stories with him and Mick in hotel rooms. Mikey gigged himself with a Dorito chip one night. I don't know if he ever told you that story. But he's crazy. He's lovable. He's so many different things to so many different people. But let me ask you this. What was the training regimen like? So you guys are working with him. Did he push you to the limit? I mean, I heard there was throwing up going on. So tell me, what was it like in the beginning under Mikey's regime? What was that like?
So in the beginning, every training session, we had to change out the garbage bags from the garbage cans that he had surrounded around the ring. 4 cans around every turnbuckle, we're throwing up. There's no, the cardio was freaking insane.
Yeah.
It was we weren't even allowed to touch the ring for the first 3-4 months.
Wow.
In the apron, when you're in the apron, you're not allowed to touch the ropes. You're in a lockup position. Stand there until you're ready to go into the ring and do what you're told. And that's how it was for a good solid year before we could actually start to come into being ourselves. He drilled fundamentals into our brain so much. Then when you're in there, all you're doing is fundamentals. All you're doing is basics. Now do what you do. Now throw your flair, throw your style.
He gave us a little study booklet that he made
of all the moves.
And me, my brother, and Red to this day knock ourselves in the head because I guess we lost it through time. But I wish I had that copy. And Red told me that not so long ago, like last year. He was like, "Bro, I wish I had that copy. I would have had all my students wrestling like us." What Mikey put together is unbelievable. And we had to go by the book. And if we didn't have the book, if you show up without the book, you can't train. You sit there and watch everybody train for 3 hours, and you sit in one corner like.
Well, you're not sitting. You're actually doing step ups for the whole.
Step ups, yeah, step ups.
The whole training session,
like me.
He got in trouble. Him and Red got in trouble a lot because they talked a lot. So Mikey will have him doing step ups until they cry, and then he had Joel do one session. I don't know what him and Joel. I think him and Red broke a table. Red decided to go up on the top of the rope and say EC dub, and throw himself through a table in practice. Mikey said, "All right, you and Joel." Joel laughs. Oh, you want to laugh? It's funny. Step ups with chairs on their arms, and if they drop the chair, you get a chair added. So they were there for like torturous 2-3 hours. Him and Wayne too, right? Wayne
no, it wasn't. It was like 45 minutes, but it turned like into like 2 hours because I was dying, and he kept coming over and whispering, "If you drop the chair, you out of here." And I was like, I don't want to be thrown out. And yeah, bro, I cried, bro. I couldn't walk for like 4 days. I didn't even want to go back to practice. Those times that we parked in front of the House of Hardcore, and we'll look in to see.
We'll contemplate. There. Should we go in?
Because roadkill.
Should we just turn around now? Lose the day? Would we get in trouble? Would it be worse next week?
Wow.
Who's in there? It might be Chris Chetty to beat us up today. It might be Roadkill. Taz might have passed by. Who knows? That's the thing. You never know who you're gonna get beat up by.
We used to love seeing Tommy Dreamer. Because
Dreamer was great.
Dreamer only had like shorts for us. So every time we saw him, he'd be like, "Oh, go empty out the truck, get that ring out of there, put the other ring into the truck." We'd rather do that than the beatings that we used to take in those gyms. If they were to teach this today, Mike, like that,
Mike, you'll get canceled.
There'll be no schools left.
Yeah.
Yo, Mikey was an animal, man.
Yeah, but you know what?
But he made us tough, man. He made us tough as hell.
At the time, no one could keep up with us. I'm telling you. We'll freaking go and go and go and go and go and go and go.
When we went to Japan,
crazy.
When we went to Japan, Mike, the first time we went to Japan, it was for 01 Pro Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
We knew that they hit hard over there because we've been watching the taste and we started meeting wrestlers that came from there, like Steve Carino, Low Key, and they were like, they're gonna hit you hard. But since we trained with Mikey the way we trained, we were ready. They were telling us to slow down in Japan. Please stop. Yeah, we were ready, man. We went in there wild, man, and eager to learn and eager to show. It was crazy. Wrestling is the best thing in the world.
So I love wrestling.
So to fast forward, so you get through all of this, right? And once again, by the time you get to Japan, you've had the tar beat out of you so bad. It's almost like, are you serious? Like, come on now, give me a little more.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. It was awesome.
So you get ready, your very first show after training. What was the nerves like for something like that? How did Mikey tell you, or maybe the better question would be, did you feel like when it came to your first match, I'm ready right now, or did you still have those doubts like, oh my gosh, this is my first time out here. Am I really ready?
No, we never felt ready like that. We always always asked him for advice to see. Every time we came to the back, he Mikey, Yeah, when Mikey likes something,
Just to bust our balls. It sucked.
when Mikey likes something
What?
that we did, he won't tell us directly. He'll be like, eh.
Yes, I've heard
that'll be
that.
that. But yeah, but he really liked it, because I seen them tell people that the match is the shits, like, and I seen how he reacts to it, and
Yeah, he busted
yeah,
balls.
but we weren't feeling ready, not ready like that. I think when I really felt ready is when we wrestled at MLW at the Grand Ballroom in Manhattan. When we wrestled Dick Togo, Hidaka, and Christopher Daniels. It was me,
Yes.
Jose, and Quiet Storm. After that match, I felt like, damn, those guys weren't even speaking English. We went through that. That was before Japan, and that was cool.
Let me ask you, what's it like when you're starting to wrestle and you start to try to build up a repertoire? Okay, this is what we're going to do. This is what we do. Is it a while before you kind of establish how your matches work, or do you decide, I'm not, etched in stone like this. I like to kind of play off of who we're going to be working with that night, or do they work to your style, or is it a hybrid of both? So how would you guys determine how the match was going to go?
Well, usually this is the facts, Mike. I show up and Joel usually comes up with mostly everything. So even
I
me,
show up.
yeah, me and the Briscoes, it was always me and Mark. We just did the crazy shit or whatever they wanted us to do. So Mark comes up to me. He's like, "Oh, what's up, man? What do you want to do?" I was like, "Well, talk to Joel. What do you want to do? Talk to Jay. All right."
That's how it goes.
That's it.
That's
But
how it
now,
goes.
but usually we like to adapt. We
Yes.
Yeah,
like to adapt
I
to
li-
whoever we're wrestling. So, I mean, our main goal, Mike, legit, and everyone can tell you, we want to make them look good. Whoever it is that we're wrestling, we want to make you guys look like freaking monsters if you're big guys. We want to make you look like the best high flyers if you're smaller guys. That's just the way we were. We've always been that way. We get our stuff off, yeah, but it's nothing to just. Yeah, we just wanted to have great matches. We didn't care about anything else. Nothing else mattered. Just have a great match,
it was like
and
the
that was
gift and
always
the
the
curse.
mentality. Yeah, it
But
is a gift and a curse.
yeah, it was a gift and a curse because at one point, from like 2002 to 2005, and when we were like in the peak of Ring of Honor, um, everywhere we went, it was like SAT. It was insane. So every promoter in all reality knew that they were putting us against guys who needed help to boost them, or like, or like guys on our level. But it didn't matter because we were so over at one point that that's all they care about. They were like, oh, we don't need to put belts on you guys. You guys are over. You don't need to win this match because you're over. So people don't talk about guys who were over. People talk about champions. And, that's why it gets laid out at the end of the day is the history of who held titles and blah, 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 blah. So this time around, we're a little smarter. And we want belts. So we're going hard this time. It's my last run. And I feel better than ever. And I'm just ready, man. I'm very excited about everything that's happening right now.
You made a great point here. You said, you always want to go out and make your opponent look as best as they can. You know why? You make them look good. It's a great match. It means people
Yeah.
come back. It means people buy tickets. It means more money for us to be on the card because they want to see it. It's a process, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know who said this. I think it might have been Kurt Hennig said this at one time. He said, "You're only as good as your opponent makes you look."
100%.
And he was like, man, that's the truth. He says, you can make somebody look great, but it is a fine art to make someone else look great as well. So,
Yeah.
man, it's like there's so many of these layers in wrestling that I don't think fans understand that.
I have no
But like
idea.
when you're out there doing it and you put on a masterpiece, I think at the end of the day, not to say it's not important, but whether someone won or lost, it was an amazing story. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's almost who won is an afterthought.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
like, you know what? We'll get you guys on the next time. And it's just like, but
And
that's
that
what
was
fans want.
Yeah, 100%. And that was the mentality. I mean, like we just had the match. We had 2 matches already with Briscoe. I'm sure we'll have another 100. But the first one we had for the first time in GCW was like a month ago, right? Give or take. And in my opinion, instant classic. It was amazing. Everything went well as planned. Everything went well. Everything was solid. Every spot highlighted something, and we told the story, and we did the whole shebang. And it's probably one of the best matches we had coming off of 10 years. Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. I mean, we haven't wrestled them in 8 years. And we've wrestled them more than any tag team in alive right now. We've wrestled the Briscoe brothers more than any other tag team ever.
Yeah. What they were
It's
talking
insane.
about, we had like 20-something matches. That's a lot.
50 something.
I
I was talking to Mark. You like we had about 50 something that we actually looked up, him and Jay. And about 50 something and matches we can't even remember. It's insane.
Yeah. It's because we were coming up together. And then we built a friendship right away. As soon as we met them in CCW, it was our first show in CCW. They were like brand new also. So we kind of clicked. You know, they were brothers. They were similar ages. They killed chickens. We were like, oh yeah, cool. Yo. And then we became like boys. We became boys, man. And that's another tag team where we don't really have to put a lot of thought of what's gonna happen. I know that we're gonna go in there. I know they're gonna hit us hard, and I know they're gonna take it back, and it's gonna be great. You know,
It's interesting you mentioned that because not everyone has that I don't even know what you call it, synergy, or just this unknown language that's spoken or unspoken language where they just get in there and they just get it. They look at each other and they know just by, paying attention to certain things. Okay, this is going to happen. This.
It's crazy.
Trust,
I mean,
trust.
you mentioned something funny. So Joel has his student, Dino Mike. He's coming up. He's starting to do things, whatever. And he shows up. He's at these events, and he's in the locker room, and he's sitting down during us and Briscoe just going over things. And then we're all just like, yeah, not really saying much, just knowing what it is. Remember the thing that, yeah, we'll do that. And then we all walk away. And then Dino comes to me. He goes, what was that? I was like, what? You guys didn't even call anything. I was like, no, we don't have to. And he was like, I don't understand. We're like, no, we got it. We already got the foundation. We will come back and maybe add whatever. And he was like, are you kidding me? You didn't even call a match. He's confused. I'm like, you have no idea, bro. Like, seriously, stick around. You'll see. And then it's just every week he did it for the Hardy Boys show. We were at the show and we went and sat with the Briscoes again. And we were freaking talking shit. Mark leaves the room. Jay comes back and I leave the room. And then we're just like, yeah, no. A whole different match. And he's there. He's like, you did it again. You said nothing. You said nothing. I'm like, yeah, that's just the way it is. It's just... That's those guys. That's the no-brainers. Like, yeah, well, whatever, and that's it. And it's pretty impressive that we still could do that with them after so many years.
It's not easy. I got another boy in my Santana. He's always saying he watches wrestling. He's like, it's not easy. It's not. I'm like, it's not. Our first show back, it was for ETU, Expect the Unexpected Wrestling, and they put us against the main event. You ever seen them? It's a lion. And his tamer,
amazing event students, yeah.
Yeah, so they're really cool. They do a lot of cool stuff. So it's our first show back together. So, and I'm in the process of dropping weight. I'm in the process of just working out and doing my thing, right? But those lights, those big lights, right next to the turnbuckles, and as soon as I came out hype. As soon as I got up top, I couldn't breathe. I didn't even lock up yet. I couldn't breathe. There was no air. So this is my thought. This is me. And Mikey knows that this is me. And my brothers know. I'm like, I'm going to go to the back. I don't care. I'm just not going to wrestle today. I can't breathe. Then my other side's telling me, yeah, you stop being a pussy and wrestle, right? I'm like, all right, cool. And then I'm looking at my younger brother, Will, and I'm like, all right, we're going to start cheating right now. I'm going to tell him to come up and finish the match just before lockup. So from there to now, we like Briscoe said, we are 10. We are 11. From there to now, we've been training. Well, I've been training all the time.
It's over. Yeah, we had 2 matches. We wrestled Briscoes
that's it.
in the Hardys.
So I needed to get that rust off, I just wanted to be real to you about it, how it felt like.
No, it was real.
Was hell.
At one point,
it felt like hell.
I didn't know the whole. I swear to everything.
And those kids were like,
I went into the match and they're calling all these things. They're younger. They're freaking. We know what it's like. I'm like, all right, good. You guys got that? I was like. I told you I have no idea what they just said. I don't know anything. Just talk to me out there because I have no clue. Just go. When I'm in the match, Joel's like coaching me through this whole match. And he's like, this is what we're gonna do. I'm like, all right, good. You got it? No,
Nope.
I don't have anything. As soon as we're in the ring, everything comes in. It clicks.
Right.
And I'm telling Joel.
And I'm like, nope.
No, I'm not going in. Wilson, go in.
No.
He's sending Wilson in. I'm like, what's happening?
I was like, nope.
Yeah, it's not good. But it's good too. I love it when it's fun that way. Mike,
the reason I brought that up is because it's not easy. It's not easy to do what we do.
Not at all.
It's not. Like, you could train and you could get good and you could do whatever. There's a lot of young cats that I see now that 10 years from now they're gonna be like in top of the world. But I watch them in the ring and I see what we used to do, plus what they think is right to do, and it's like, no wonder Jim Cornette is always pissed off. It looks bad. It looks bad. You could go up there and do like 25 flips, but then you can't even do a wrist lock properly, And that's what a lot of people don't get. Mikey taught us how to wrestle before we even started flying. We know how to wrestle. We know how to put A to Z, easy,
Tell him,
Right.
Joel.
Yeah,
we wrestled
a lot of times, Mike, we went to wrestling shows.
And he cut off. He was about to get good, Mike.
Oh man! Wow, gosh, let's see.
Yeah,
here.
he'll log back in. But he was about to say we'll go to wrestling shows and shoot before the matches, before the shows, before his doors open. We'll roll around and tap each other out. It was insane. We used to go at it with Low Key. We used to go at it with whoever was wrestling at the time. We used to love that shit. When we went to 0-1, they had a whole bunch of fighters from Pride at the time, Pride Fighting. So they had Dan Bobish, Don Fry, Kevin Randleman, who was heavyweight champion at the time.
Yes.
I'll roll with them and go. Obviously, they'll wash me at the end, but we'll go and go and go. Let's roll. We're not scared to wrestle. We know how to wrestle. We can wrestle. High school wrestling. We did it all. So we don't just fly and people realize, like, we can do it. We just chose never to do it. It's a weird thing. We can do it. We just never chose to do it. It's weird.
Who would you say you guys end up striking up a good friendship with? I mean, good friends in pro wrestling are few and far between from everything that we've heard. But truly good friends, is there anybody that you guys, really stay in contact with on a friendship basis, whether it's talking about your kids or your family or whatnot? Is there any relationships that kind of transcend what happens in the ring?
Yes. Briscoes are two of them. Those are our brothers. Like we slept each other. Hear me up. Yeah, somebody lost their internet signal. Briscoes were one of them because, we spent so much time together. We slept over each other's houses. They know my parents. I know his parents. They know all my siblings. Hold on. I'm sorry.
Does he have his? You're fine. Does he have his link to come on back in?
Yeah, he's coming back in. He said, "Give him a few seconds."
Here we go.
Oh, he's coming in, right?
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Well, I kind of see him coming in, but I can't click on him. It says his device is not connected.
Yeah, he's gonna try to get right back in. He says, "Sorry."
That'll work.
So yeah, it was the Briscoes. Like legit, we used to spend weeks with them. We're wrestling in Maryland or ECWA at the time. That was in Delaware, and we'll be like, "Hey man, we got Maryland Championship Wrestling. We're on the same show." They were like, "Man, why don't you guys just go to the show, come to the house, stay with us, and then stay the week, and then do the other weekend and do ECWA, and then maybe you drive back down?" Hell yeah. Well, that's what we did, and we grew. We struck a friendship for life. It's a lifetime thing, man. It's a lifetime thing. I love those boys, man. Those are our boys. Those are the guys. Them and Brian and Red, Brian Excel, Red. Obviously, they family. That's different. That's like forever, no matter what.
Was there a moment when you feel like, because we've talked to wrestlers before, and some people say yes, this does happen. Some people say, man, I don't know if there was one moment, but was there one moment where you felt like, man, everything is clicking? Like, I'm at that point where like everything is where I want it to be. I feel like I've gotten to understand everything. How soon did that come in your career where you actually were like, it's just that moment, if that makes sense? Like, I'm a school teacher, and I remember the spot I was at teaching where it was like, man, everything just kind of happened at once. And I was like, this is it. Like, I feel like I'm hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah, no, I think it was after TNA. I think after we left TNA, and I experienced it had a lot to do with it. You know, being on television, being on the pay per views and timelines, and we weren't used to it. So indie wrestling is go whatever you can. There's no real timeline.
Yo,
What's up, bro? Indie wrestling is like, okay, guys, you got 10 minutes. You could go 20 if you feel like it, you know. But in TNA, it structured us to actually start learning. And hey, you got 6 minutes. As soon as we walked through the curtain, Mike, I swear to everything. It was Joel
BJ
and
Women
I
Matt Striker.
and BJ Whitner and Matt Striker in the ring.
Unibrow Matt Striker.
Our music hits and we roll in, and the referee says, "Take it home now."
Yep.
We literally drop kicked BJ Whitner or Matt Striker, whoever it was,
Matt Striker.
put whoever it was on the top rope, Spanish flied them, 1, 2, 3, rolled out of the ring, went to the back, and they were running out of time. And you know, it's just we learned. And I mean, after that, we did a few tours in Japan, and when we were doing indies, it was just like now we're starting to actually get now, believe it or not, 20 years later is when I actually feel like I get it. We can still do the fancy shit. We can still do the flips and whatever. Who else? It doesn't matter, bro. At the end of the day, is the story. When they show clips of matches, they show clips of matches. They're not going to show every single thing that we cared about, every single detail, the way we ran, the way we did 100 little things and slides, and nobody gives a shit. They care about the story. What did you tell them? What did the crowd feel like? And a lot of the times, all we wanted to do was get our spots off to make the crowd pop, but we ignored the crowd the whole process of it. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that we made when we were younger. Is that we're trying to get through these spots and trying to do all these things and trying to make them go hoo-ah, but we're abandoning the fact that they're there. We weren't entertaining them personally. We were just entertaining so they can pop. Oh, so it's almost like how loud can we make them pop? How much can we make them pop? But we weren't entertaining them. We weren't addressing the fact that there's people sitting there watching you. It's crazy. Yeah. We get it now. Now we get it. At a grown age, it's like, go ahead.
Like a big time pro wrestling. This past shows, you know, we first match was us against Briscoes. Whoever wins goes against the Hardy Boys. We took a heel turn right away. The fans were like all over us. We played out.
We walked in. They were like,
to the fans.
Your baby face. Both baby face. I'm sorry to cut you off. We walked through the curtain and boo. Guess we're not. We played the
game
role.
Change. Yep.
Game change. Yep. Match change instantly. Briscoes walked out. Guess what? We're working heat on you. It's different now. It's just all. But that's what I love about them. You don't have to. They know. This is what it is.
You know who's really good at that, and this is why I brought up on this last shows, because we played heels. I had fun doing it. It was fun. And I haven't had fun like that in a long time. And then when the reports came out, they said that they got a Dudley kind of feeling, the Dudley Boys kind of feeling. The Dudley Boys in ECW, when they used to come out, I didn't care about 3D or nothing. I just wanted to see them, what they were going to say, what they were going to do. They entertain. That's what
it
they
goes
are.
Back to what Mike said, relating to someone, authenticity. I used to believe Bubba Ray was evil. Like, this dude is crazy in real life. Forget the wrestling. Bubba Ray can kill someone. He made me believe that. He's a savage in the ring, and he's going to snap this guy in half. He made me believe
Mike,
that.
I'm going to send you... I'm gonna send you the match, the link to the match later, so you can see
Absolutely. It's so funny you mentioned that, because with the believability, so Jerry and Mikey would be backstage in ECW, and they've mentioned this to me before. They would be like, "Oh shit." And I'll be like, what? They're like, they're going to start a riot tonight. And it was just crazy because they had gotten so much nuclear heat on them for what they would say and do. It was just, once again, when you have the it factor, you can't, that's just who that person is. They have something within inside them that it just comes out. And I think that's awesome. Question I wanted to mention, kind of piggybacking on what you said before, when you talked about having matches and, you know, just doing it just to pop the crowd. And a lot of times I've learned this, that it's taking the audience with you on the journey instead of just doing the show at them, if that makes sense.
100%. 100%.
What do you feel like is do you feel like today, when you look at, because you guys have been there, done that, been everywhere, you have had these amazing matches, do you ever pull people aside and say, hey, like what you're doing, however, you need to be more cognizant of X, Y, and Z? Do you guys do that as well? Or is it
Absolutely.
a situation where you want them, they need to come to you to ask, or are you willing to pull them aside?
Now we've pulled a couple kids to the side already, and sometimes they'll ask us our honest opinion if we were watching, and we'll let them know the same thing we're telling you, man. I mean, like we've done it, you know. And these kids have way more. I'm telling you, they're way more talented as far as flipping goes. They're doing, you know how it is, sports, even NFL or basketball. They just step it up even more than the last guy. It's crazy, but I can see. Again, it goes back to Mikey, what Mikey used to talk about. I can see what all these wrestlers, Eddie Guerrero, used to talk about. Like, you know, not slow. I tell them, don't slow it down. Be yourself, but make it make sense. Make it make sense. Like you just did a 450, and then the guy got up 2 seconds ago and super kicked you. I'm like, dude, your 450 means shit. Like nothing. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, it's not about the 450, or if you did a 450 and then you went up and did another one, who cares, right? But how is it going to make you, your opponent look? How is it going to make the crowd feel? How is it going to make the people feel? And I tell you, we had some of the easiest matches at Big Time Wrestling, and it was the loudest pops we've ever had in a long time, in years. It's crazy. The first night we were heels. The second night we came in and we were super baby. We were New York, so it was different. We were in Boston. They hated us. The second night was New York. So they were like, "Are you guys gonna be heel again?" I'm like, "Nah, not New York. We know. We're from New York. They're not gonna pop against us. We're gonna be babyface." Sure enough, they were babyface. We were babyface off the bat, and it was just, you know, acknowledging the fact that they're there to watch a show. When you're at a circus, the clown or the gymnast is not just doing shit looking at himself. He's at the crowd, connecting with the people, connecting with the audience, and then doing the shit. And then not like, holy shit. And they're like, did you see that? Did you see that? You like that? They love that. They want to be a part of the show because they are a part of the show. They make the show. Without the crowd, come on. Let's be honest. During the pandemic, great matches, but there's no freaking reaction. There's no crowd. You can tell. Even the wrestlers, though, doing their best, but it's just not the same.
Do you feel like we've often heard the phrase, they're going to get a receipt? You guys are veterans here. Give me a good receipt story. You don't have to name the people, but any moment where you're like, you son of a, okay, all right, here we go.
Jimmy Yang.
I love you, Jimmy. Yeah, you got
But Jimmy had it coming. Jimmy Yang. So we come into TNA, right?
The wars of Joel and Jimmy Yang.
We came into TNA, and the guys found out that they were gonna give us a contract. There's 3 indie guys from Brooklyn, New York. It was me, Jose, and Red. At the time, Red was like 80 pounds with his durag, and we were so little and small.
All the hair. He was still 80 pounds. So
they put us in a match against the Flying Elvises, and we were calling stuff out, and Jimmy was slowing everything down for us because he was like, "Oh man, I ain't doing that. Oh no," doing his thing. And when we got into the match, I noticed that he was hitting my brother really hard, like really hard. And you know what? It's wrestling. We're supposed to hit each other hard and everything, but when you go overboard, where I could see my brother almost
It's a different type of hard.
So we had to go in there and kind of put a little pressure on his neck and choke him a little bit too much, so he could understand to slow it down. That was my. But it happened back to back. He knocked me out senseless. I woke up and I thought I was in Florida. I was in Tennessee. He hit me with a spin kick. Everything went white, and I was just speaking Spanish. I didn't even remember how to speak English. Just like now, for real. He knocked me senseless. And
he got a lot of receipts. I gave him to Mikey though. Mikey taught us some receipts.
The back elbow?
The back elbow, yeah.
Yeah, the back elbow.
The guy's working heat on me. You hit me hard. I was like, hey, Jimmy, do me a favor. Whip me off. Give me the back elbow. I'm coming back. Boom! Right in the kidney. Oh, my God. Slow it down, buddy.
Yeah, calm down,
Whoever it was. Not just Jimmy. It's just everybody else. How about the kid that you kicked and got knocked out at the arena? ECW arena. What? I'm red good. I don't want to say his name. I'm red good. So we go to the back and we're at this new promotion that we were just starting working, and we're going over stuff, and at the time we were starting to get a little heat behind us. People were starting to know who we were, and Red is the GOAT. Red is the man. And the kid goes up to us, and he knows that's our cousin. It's our family. So we talking out the match, and I'm like, oh, he was like, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why he said this or what made him say it. And we were talking, like, can you do like a certain flip or whatever we wanted to call it? He was like, yeah, I could do that. I'm good. I'm red good, like better than Red. And then he walks away.
And he walked away.
Oh, what was that? I thought he was joking because,
he wasn't.
Boys, we always bust balls. It's an active occurrence in wrestling. You get your butt. He's got to be joking, all right? So then we come back, and then he comes back. Like, you guys got it? He was like, I got the whole match. Do I need to repeat it to you guys? This is he's talking to us. Like, holy shit. And it's not about egos. It's that we're men. Well, we were kids. But we're like, come on, bro. Like, all right. Long story short, the kid got me in a submission, and Joel kicks him so hard. Knocks the guy out.
And then I say, are you red good?
He's doing thumbs up in the middle of the ring. I turned to Joel and said, should I pin him?
Yeah.
Should I just pin him now?
And he was red good there.
Don't pin him. Let him wake up out of it. And I'm looking at the guy. I'm like, I don't think he's coming out of it. He's gone.
Yeah. He's our boy. I know who we're talking about.
Yeah, he's gone.
Wow.
But then for some reason, after you get a receipt, after I've received receipts, I hit somebody. I forgot who I hit hard, and he got me. I think it was Chris Chatty.
Yeah, he hit hard, bro.
I hit Chris Chatty, and he kicked the shit out of me. And I was like, yeah, I apologize, sir. I had that coming. It's all good. And then it becomes love. And then everybody loves it.
Because love.
Once you get beat up by a wrestler, like, thanks, man. I needed
that.
Guy,
I have to bail out soon. I have to go put this kid to sleep.
No, absolutely. I don't want to take too much of your time, but man, you guys are amazing. I would love to go ahead and set up a part 2 if that's something you guys
want. Hell yeah, man. We love this. This is awesome.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man.
We love to talk wrestling, as you can tell.
I love it. And you guys feed off each other. I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah,
Let me go ahead and let's do this. Let's do some plugging here. Merchandise, social media accounts. Where can people find you? Upcoming shows where they can get tickets. The floor is yours. Go ahead and plug away.
Go ahead, Joel. I forget all the shows. I'm going to look for dates.
I never put that thing. You see, it's Avril Joel Maximo on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook is the SAT. Yeah. So you can catch us on that. Merchandise, we're working on that. Everybody's been asking us for merchandise.
I know.
People have been telling us different things. Go to Pro Wrestling Tees or go this and that.
But you guys can DM us at our Instagram or Twitter, and we can get merchandise out to you for now. And we're getting the website up and running. We just really haven't even had time. I mean, we've been crazy busy. We're turning bookings down because we don't want to be booked every single weekend 3 times a week. I want to kind of be home. We have March 12th. March 13th passed already. March 26th, NYWC, which is this Saturday. We'll be defending the NYWC tag team titles. Yep. April 1st, ICW in the Chains. It's been announced.
We're wrestling already. Tony DeVito and HC Log.
Yeah, baby. I'm excited for that one.
The Carnage Crew. Yeah, that's going to be fun.
We bypassed the week after that. April 16th is ETU, New Jersey. I don't know if I can mention this one. Can I mention the second one? Yes, May 1st, GCW at the show.
You could mention the April show. It's on Rock and Roll Express versus us.
Yes, April 16th is Rock and Roll Express against us. Okay.
Wow.
Can I mention the May 13th and the June 23rd? Is that even announced yet? Not yet, right?
That's not announced, but it's going to be televised. Yeah.
Okay. Great. And that's a big one. Huge.
Yeah.
And follow us at Real Jose Maximo and
Mike, we should talk right after that because that's right on your backyard, actually.
Let's do it then.
So after we log off live, we'll tell you. Mike,
Mike will know. Mike is gonna know.
Mike will know, and it's not up to us. Listen, we're just gonna tell Mike and see what happens after that. Yo, it's been real though, Mike. For real, man.
I have loved it.
We feel like we've known you forever. It's crazy.
Yeah, bro. It's awesome.
Sometimes things just flow. We just call it the ring.
It's like an instant marriage, right? It's like a thing.
Yes, he'll be the SAT podcast member.
Heck I love it. I love it. Guys, nothing but love for you guys. Please stay healthy. Please stay safe.
Yes, we've been healthy. That's important. Very important.
FTR, come get us.
Yeah. Uncle Dax.
Yeah, come get it. FTR, please. Come give me that match so we could shit on you. Sorry, go ahead.
Hey, one last thing I'll say, with the Ring of Honor launching again, there's a lot of unique things happening here.
Man, I know. I hope so.
You never know where the door's going to open and who's going to walk through. That's why you guys need to follow them on social media. Guys, follow them right now. Follow them right now so you can get all the information, all their dates coming up here. Buy merchandise. And the one thing I've always said before, you love wrestling, put a buck in their pocket. Buy their merchandise and cheer like hell for them, because it's because of them that they continue to allow us to live vicarious through them and have a ton of fun. But also remember, man, these guys do this day in and day out. They put their bodies on the line. So show respect, show love, because you know what? It is so hard and it's so dangerous. We just learned, obviously from Big E, that injuries, freak things happen all the time. Take care of the wrestlers because they take care of you. So once again, it's a symbiotic relationship. And guys, once again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Mike.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
Expect the unexpected.
Right. We'll talk to you soon. See ya. All right, perfect. Wow. So that's SAT. That is incredible. Talking to them is way more fun than taking the actual SAT test. But what I will tell you is this. It's fun as a wrestling fan. And even though I do podcasts and do interviews and whatnot, it's fun to learn about people's journeys. And we talk about this on Future Stars now, but I think it's just as equally important on Front Row Material when you talk to the seasoned veterans, you talk to where they've been, what they've done, the fact that they pull people aside and they talk to them. They don't have to. There's nothing in their contract that says, hey, you know what? I need to talk to A, B, and C who've just been in the business a couple of years, but they do. And I think it's that type of thing that keeps the wrestling business alive. I think that's what keeps the passion alive. Mikey got it. Mikey passed it down with Red. Red passes it down. It's paying it forward for something that you love. And I think SAT is a perfect example. I loved so many different clips of what they said about the Briscoes and having a great match and slowing things down and knowing how to work heel or babyface, or, with TV time remaining, sometimes you got to change things on a fly. It's just the ability after so much time that you understand how to adapt as a professional. And I cannot emphasize that word enough, a professional, because it's how they are in and outside of the ring as well. But what I can say is this: please follow them on social media, hit them up, DM them, buy their merchandise, and check out all of their upcoming appearances as well. And if you are in their neck of the woods where they're going to be, go ahead and support them as well. All right, man, this is so much fun for me. I'm so lucky that I get to do this, because you know what? I get to talk to people about wrestling and just hear what they have to say. And I'm a kid in a candy store. Not a real candy store, because let's be honest, my BMI is a little high. Probably shouldn't be around the candy too much. But with that being said, no panel tonight, so there won't be any discussion on that. But you can definitely catch the Freland 5 each and every day here on the MLW Radio Network. You can hear me talk about the top 5 headlines that are trending all over the world of social media as it pertains to wrestling. All right, for ECW fan, Got Noof, Jersey Devil, everyone who is in our chat room, I cannot thank you enough. I am Dwayne from the Philippines. Thank you so much as well. It's been real. It's been real fun. We will catch you next week on Front Row Material. Have a great night.